Happy Friday, friends. Matt with Eddie's Guitars coming to you as always from St. Louis, Missouri. We sure appreciate you joining us on yet another live stream. We are at live stream episode number 58, and we've had quite a good time bringing these to you every few weeks here, and just want to say we always appreciate you folks joining us here for our live streams on Friday afternoons. So just wanted to put that out there. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet here on YouTube, go ahead and do that so you get notifications when we put the live stream announcements up and everything, as well as our other demos that we do. But we've got some beautiful guitars to dig into a bit today, starting with a beautiful Bourgeois OM Vintage. This is part of the Heirloom series from Bourgeois Guitars. This is a guitar that we were able to put a few little custom touches on, as we're kind of known to do. And this really has some beautiful tone woods. This guitar just came in. It's just off the production floor there at Bourgeois Guitars from Maine. Jandro, if you don't mind, let's take a look at these beautiful woods on this guitar. We've got an age tone Bearclaw Sitka Spruce top on this OM Vintage here. Nice figuring in the with the Bearclaw Sitka Spruce there, and just nice color with that age tone or torrified top that we have there. Just a really nice looking Sitka top on this guitar for sure. Of course, the vintage guitars, vintage models from Bourgeois, of course, have the ivoroid, the grained ivoroid binding, that nice herringbone trim around the top of the guitar, kind of a 28 style wood and fiber rosette there as well. So it's just super, super classic look to this guitar. Back and sides are a gorgeous set, boy oh boy, of figured East Indian rosewood. Got some nice flaming to this back set here. Just a beautiful set. You can see how beautifully quarter sawn it is as well. Just a really pretty set of wood here. Don't tend to see a lot of Indian rosewood that looks quite like this, just between the color, the grain orientation, everything it's got going on there is very beautiful. We've got the zigzag or zipper back strip, depending on who you ask. Both are kind of the same thing there. Face of the headstock, you can see a beautiful Madagascar rosewood veneer. We also have the ebony fingerboard with the long pattern diamond and square fingerboard inlays. And we've got the ebony belly bridge there. Again, very traditional touches to this guitar. We do have the standard 1 3/4 inch nut width. We have the standard 2 5/16 spacing down here at the bridge. Under the hood of this guitar, I'll just mention it has the full age tone package, meaning it does have the torrified age tone top. It also has the age tone torrified Adirondack spruce braces, which are fully tuned, scalloped pretty substantially to give you a really responsive, really dynamic soundboard here. Also comes with the torrified maple bridge plate, the proprietary age tone finish, and all of the internals of the body of this guitar have been attached using animal protein glue. So that's kind of the full age tone package on a Bourgeois guitar, and this has all of that. So all of those boxes have been checked. Tonally, it is, I dare say, a perfect rosewood OM sound. It's just very well balanced. Good versatility from, good headroom on the strumming end of things. He has a loud and clear voice when you're digging into it a bit there. responsive on the bare finger stuff as well. So it's tremendously versatile guitar here, as a great OM should be. I mean, it really should. I think the H-tone Sitka spruce top on this guitar is definitely giving it some nice warmth, and when you lean into it a little bit, it is not overly bright at all. It stays nice and substantial and warm, with a clear delivery though, for sure. Very nice sound. Folks, as always, my good friend Mr. Alejandro is joining me behind the controls here. Say hello to Jandro there if you would.
What's up, guys?
And thank him for being here, because otherwise this experience would be much different for all of us.
Yeah. We got some of the regular players in chat today. Got Klaus Lorenz,
Nice.
Ian Cummings, Jim Bayerly, Jose Benito Martinez Jr., Jason Caruso,
Very nice.
and Rod Air. Speaking of which, Rod Air is curious. What are the one or two guitars that you most enjoy playing when you're relaxing at home, and why?
Good question. I'll tell you, I recently got a, and I only say this because it's the one I've been grabbing probably the most recently. The folks at McPherson were kind enough to send me a Sable carbon fiber guitar, and I got to tell you, I've put quite a few miles on that guitar just in the last few weeks that I've had it. That's been the one I've been reaching for most commonly, most recently. Like I said, I've got it down into a pretty low tuning, and despite being kind of a standard scale length guitar, it works phenomenally well with low tunings, almost in the range of a baritone, and in some cases in the range of a baritone is kind of how I keep it tuned. That guitar has been a ton of fun, and I never really saw myself as a carbon fiber guitar type of person necessarily, but I've definitely been converted, at least to the McPherson Sable. Very much so enjoying that guitar. Thanks very much for the question, appreciate it. And if you haven't played a McPherson Sable carbon fiber, find one and play it. Come here and play one. And thanks for everyone else joining us as well. We appreciate you all being here again. Folks, we have reached one of the more convincing new guitars that's kind of pretending that it's a vintage guitar, and I will say doing a very good job of playing that role. This is the Atkin Guitars L36, otherwise known as the 36. This is very much so your kind of L00 size shaped guitar. This is a 13 fret version of this guitar though, which is a cool iteration. I should mention, oftentimes an L00 body with a 13 fret neck joint, rightly so, is associated with kind of a Nick Lucas style model, if you will. Typically the Nick Lucas is going to be a pretty deep body. This guitar is not that. This is kind of a standard depth body on this guitar. However, it is that L00 shape with that 13 fret neck joint. This is an X-brace guitar. Awesome voice to this guitar, I gotta tell you. I've been playing this one quite a bit since it's been in the shop the last couple weeks. And since we have taken on the Atkin line just a few months ago, I gotta tell you, we've had trouble keeping these things in stock. Folks really seem to be gravitating towards these guitars in a beautiful way. From a price standpoint, they are very reasonably priced for what you're getting into with these guitars, how wonderfully they're built. Again, the kind of vintage inspired voice that they have, the finish work that they do, just the overall vibe of the look, the feel, the whole package is really kind of hitting the nail on the head, if you ask me. Jandro, if we could take a closer look here, I would love to do that. As you can see, we've got that beautiful kind of tobacco sunbursted top there, and as I turn it and get that light reflection on there, you can see the sort of hazing or crazing rather and checking in the nitrocellulose lacquer finish. These are very thin finishes on these guitars. This is a baked Sitka spruce top That, again, beautiful Sunburst on there. Back and sides of this guitar is a beautiful set of Honduran Mahogany. And it very much so has that same kind of checking in the finish there, just like in the top. Again, just very vibey the way that they do the super thin back strip on there. We'll try to get that in focus there. But really pretty mahogany with kind of almost like a reddish walnut kind of stain to it. Really pretty color. Ivoroid binding on the body and the neck of this guitar. I want to show you these inlays on the headstock and fingerboard. Those are inlaid with mother of pearl, the Atkin logo there, as well as that double diamond in the center of the headstock there. We also have kind of a matching double diamond inlay pattern on the face of the fingerboard going all the way down there. Very much so kind of their own take on, kind of reminds me of like kind of advanced jumbo kind of a vibe, a little bit of a Nick Lucas kind of a vibe with these little bit bolder inlays rather than just being little dots. Really nice. I love the no pick guard on there, just the straight rectangular bridge as well. Like I said, this is an X-brace guitar. It's very light. I mean, you pick this thing up, it doesn't weigh a lot at all. So it's for the style of guitar, definitely has that nice light weight to it. Got a 1 11/16 nut. We've got a 2 3/16 spacing down here at the bridge on this guitar. While it has, you know, the woody, a little bit of barky, a little bit of edge to it, it definitely has that quality, and I love that. Something that I love just as much that's accompanying that is some nice airy overtones, which normally you get kind of a dry sound in this style of guitar, especially with Sitka Spruce and Mahogany. And this definitely has some airiness around it, some nice kind of harmonics and overtones that I really like. Really good sustain for a slope shoulder guitar as well. You tend to, in a lot of cases, get a little bit of an abbreviated kind of sustain quality. This thing really keeps on rolling as you keep those strings moving. It keeps on vibrating. It's really a great interpretation on, again, that kind of 13 fret L-double-O kind of style.
So speaking of lightly built guitars, Jose was curious on your opinion on the weight of acoustic guitars. Mm-hmm. Comparable to the same model, does a lighter guitar have more projection than a heavier one, etc.?
In a lot of cases, it seems like that kind of ends up being the way it works out. And usually the lighter the guitar is, the more easy it is to get it to do what it's supposed to be doing efficiently. Of course, if a guitar is heavier, whether that's just because of a specific piece of wood that's heavier or because the whole guitar is built more substantially, it doesn't tend to give you that big dynamic punch that a lighter guitar tends to have. And of course, always exceptions in virtually any case of anything. But in most cases, we find the real light guitars tend to really punch it out pretty efficiently. So that's the long way of saying, yeah, in general, I think that's a pretty fair assessment to make. Absolutely.
I got another one for you.
Yeah.
Chris just received a Sinker Redwood topped Cocobolo Husson Dalton OM.
Oh, awesome.
What is your opinion on that tone wood combination, and what strings would you recommend?
I love Sinker Redwood over Cocobolo. That's two real dramatic woods. Putting them together, guess what it's going to do? It's going to sound real dramatic. Sustain, overtones, glassiness. Boy, oh boy, you're going to have all of that stuff. My answer rarely deviates on the string subject. Santa Cruz parabolic low tension strings is my personal preference on almost every guitar out there. The McPherson that I had mentioned earlier, the carbon fiber sable, I put mid tension strings on that because I have it tuned down so low most of the time. But if you're keeping it mostly in standard or thereabouts tuning, the low tension parabolics you cannot go wrong with. Otherwise, a good phosphor bronze string. I think phosphor bronze compared to, nickel bronze or 80-20 bronze, that's going to realize the most of the potential of the overtones and so on that guitar definitely should have. And a good Huss OM, man, boy, oh boy, congrats. That's going to be a beautiful... I don't know if you've gotten it yet or not, but either way, congrats. It's going to be a beautiful piece. Folks, we have reached a rather fancy guitar off the wall today. This is the Martin D42 Special, brand new model from Martin Guitars. This guitar was made in conjunction with Mr. Dick Boak, who for many, many years, many decades, in fact, was the historian for Martin Guitars, of course, employed by Martin Guitars for many decades there. Certainly a legend in the Martin guitar universe, world, whatever you want to call it. Back when I think this is 20 or so years ago, when they first got their very first laser engraving machine for inlays and doing different engravings in wood and so on, Dick Boak hand drew out a bunch of kind of original ideas for different inlays. And the inlay that's present, show this up close here, on the pickguard of this guitar was part of the drawings that he originally came up with and hoped to be able to use the laser engraver for. For whatever reason back then, they were not able to put all the cards together and get this in pickguard form. Fast forward 20 or so years later to nowadays, we have the technology, they have the technology to be able to accomplish what we're seeing here. Not only in the pickguard, but of course in the rest of the ornamentation of this guitar as well. I'm going to ask you to switch that camera again, Jandro, as soon as I did that. We have a spruce top on this guitar. And if you know me, I usually don't just say spruce top. We're usually pretty specific about the species, sometimes even the vintage or age of the wood. With Martin's most recent how do we want to say this? Guitar specs on their standard series lineup, they are not specific about what spruce they are using. It simply reads as spruce. All that said to say, they tell us it will either be Sitka spruce or Engelmann spruce. And while I, on TV and on YouTube, pretend to be an expert, I'm going to guess that this is a Sitka spruce top, just based on the appearance of it. And I cannot confirm that because Martin will not tell us one way or another. I believe this to be a Sitka spruce top on this guitar, though, for whatever that's worth to anyone out there. Being a 42 style guitar, you can see the beautiful shell inlay going around the perimeter of the top, around the fingerboard extension, around the sound hole at the rosette there, and again, that intense inlaid pickguard there. We even have matching inlays in the bridge wings themselves, done in mother of pearl there, really nice. Back and sides of this guitar are a beautifully straight-grained and quarter-sawn set of East Indian rosewood. That is a gorgeous set of rosewood. Really nice intricate back strip on the back of the guitar as well. You will see that there is no Martin logo on the face of this headstock. We've got another one of the Dick Boak original kind of inlay shapes or designs there up at the very top of the headstock there. We've got nickel Waverly tuning machines, the open gear Butterbean style, very classic tuning machines. We also have those matching inlays going down the face of the fingerboard on this guitar, if I could get it in focus. Very unique, certainly one of a kind inlay pattern here that they're putting on these guitars. I've never seen anything like it. And again, just the cleanliness of the work here is really nice. And of course, there's mother of pearl, there's abalone in there, kind of alternating colors with the different materials. So really powerful. Again, very kind of glassy sound to this guitar. Definitely has a lot of shimmer to the sound. If it's the like I said, kind of the shimmering quality in this guitar or what, but this seems to have an even prettier sound than the typical D42 I'm used to hearing. This is a great example. You are a shell inlaid Martin enthusiast, or perhaps even a big enough fan of Mr. Dick Boak. This would be quite a guitar to have in your collection, I've got to say. This is, I'm not sure, this is number 50 of the series. I'm not sure if there's a, I hate to say, I'm not sure if there's a limited run on these or if they're just going to hand number each one of them. But this particular guitar is number 50 of the series, which is pretty cool. Nice low number, which is nice. So beautiful guitar.
Pretty sweet.
Jandro, we should ask folks who are watching if anybody is going to be attending the Fretboard Summit. Jandro and I are going to be going up to Chicago later this month. What is it, the 24th through the 26th, yes. August? At the Old Town School of Folk there up in Chicago. In conjunction with the Fretboard Journal, the Fretboard Summit up there in Chicago later this month. If anyone watching here live is going to be attending, let us know and we'll have a powwow up there. That'd be just a tremendous amount of fun. I know we know a bunch of people going, so it's going to be a party already. So
we got one for you here. I want to hear some Pickin' Son, flat pick that thing, Chulka Man, from Graham Curry.
Graham, seriously, if you're at home, come down to the store right now and you flat pick it for us. I'm dead serious. I'm actually not joking. Graham doesn't live too far away from our shop, fortunately, so. And if you don't know who Graham is, go to our previous videos and get like a mop and bucket ready, because your face is going to melt onto the floor after hearing this kid play. Folks, the next beauty off the wall is absolutely that. This is a gorgeous specimen if I have ever seen one. This is an OMSC DB Signature Deluxe. So this is the 12 fret standard scale length, so not a short scale. It's 25.5-inch scale length guitar. We do have a cutaway adding to the 12 fret aspect here. Cutaway allowing you to get a little higher up than your typical 12 fret design. Top that we have on this guitar, if we could take a look, is an aged tone Italian spruce top. And the aged tone or torrefied European spruces that we've been getting in from Bourgeois the last few months, even the last 12 months, year or so, have just been spectacular. I'm so excited I can't even say it right. Torrefied Italian spruce in this particular case here, and it is a beautiful example. That nice tobacco sunburst finish on there, and it's just such a sharp look to have that nice dark edge there with that that nice wood herringbone that is present on those DB signature guitars. So sharp. We did Cocobolo binding rather, that nice dark rosewood binding all around this guitar, the body, the neck, and the headstock. We've got a gorgeous set of straight grain quarter sawn Cocobolo on the back and sides of this guitar. I love this set of wood. That is gorgeous stuff. Of course, we have the signature DB back strip going down the center of the back. Nice marquetry there in that back strip. Great detail work there as well. You can see on the face of the headstock, that is a slotted headstock, very sharp looking from Bourgeois. That's a Ziricote veneer. We've got the nice diamond and arrows inlay right in the center of the headstock, of course, with the mother of pearl Bourgeois logo all the way up top there. Again, bound totally in Cocobolo. Ebony fingerboard and bridge on this guitar with the short pattern diamond and square fingerboard inlays there. And this is another guitar that has the full age tone package from Bourgeois. So again, we've got that age tone Italian spruce top. We've got the age tone Adirondack spruce braces, the bridge plate, animal protein glue, proprietary age tone finish. It's all there. You get these tone woods and you get this construction. You don't want to skimp on any of the small details. So we check all those boxes virtually every time. About overtones, man. Just keeps growing. Man. Lots of drama in that tone of that guitar. Wow. Cocobolo in a 12 fret with a nice Italian top. Man, there is nothing to complain about there. That'll do a whole lot. You think Graham's coming down?
All right. Question here from Paul Rich. Says, lots of forest fires in Canada this summer. Have you heard of any of the guitar wood trees being affected?
It's a good question. I honestly haven't really heard anything about that. You know, with absolutely a lot of all sorts of, you know, wood up there in every form. I haven't heard anything specifically in the guitar universe about the fires happening in Canada right now. That is something worth looking into, though, and I will. That's a very good point. Already has momentum building in it. Folks, we have reached a Kevin Ryan Nightingale off the wall behind me today. We've got some really beautiful woods on this guitar as well. This is one of the guitars that was featured at the 2023 NAMM show just a few months ago, and they are still slowly trickling in our shop from the folks at Ryan Guitars. This is a beautiful, beautiful example here. As I said, it's a Nightingale Grand Soloist model. This is kind of the medium large size, not the biggest, not the smallest that Kevin Ryan makes, kind of right in the middle, Grand Auditorium-ish kind of size, if you will. Super versatile. You can strum it, you can finger pick it. It'll do a little bit of everything for you with ease. And with these tone woods, it's going to be a lot of fun getting all that juicy stuff out of it. As you can see here, we'll take a look at this beautiful Adirondack spruce top on this guitar. We don't see an overabundance of Adirondack spruce from the folks at Ryan Guitars, so I pay pretty darn close attention when they build a guitar with Adirondack spruce. This thing sounds so good. We will definitely be ordering more Adirondack top guitars with them. This is just a beautiful example here. I want to get up close and personal on this rosette because this is good stuff here. This is reconstituted stone. I don't know how they do this. It's a thing that people do in inlay work, I realize. I'm so impressed by the workmanship in this. You can also see black Tahitian pearl, if you look closely there, going around the stone on both sides. Get back in front of the microphones here. We also have black Tahitian pearl going around the perimeter of the top of this guitar. Also inlaid into the titanium bridge pins down there as well, which is a nice little touch. Back and sides of this guitar, get ready for it, are a beautiful set of Macassar Ebony. Man, oh man, that's good stuff. Really very intricate just grain pattern to this all the way through. Very, very complex looking, beautiful contrast from the lights to darks there. Equally beautiful sides and kind of swooping figure there. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. The guitar is bound in ebony. Man, that's nice. Got a beautiful ebony veneer on the face of the headstock as well there, with that black Tahitian pearl Ryan logo. These are the Cosmo black Godot 510 tuning machines. And you will see that the fingerboard is mostly unadorned, except for that ghost inlay right at the 12th fret there. We'll get up close. Really nice combination of both mother of pearl and black Tahitian pearl present in the that 12th fret inlay there, tying in with the rest of the black Tahitian pearl. And of course, this has all of the Ryan innovations. So it has the honeycomb bridge plate, the EO laser relieve bracing, that beautiful signature forearm bevel, especially with those acoustic flutes carved in there. Let's get just a quick close up there, Jandro, sorry. one of the most instantaneously recognizable features of a Ryan guitar certainly is that forearm bevel with the acoustic flutes carved in there, acting as your kind of an active monitor for the player, giving you that nice instantaneous feedback right out of the face of the guitar, or the edge of the guitar, I should say. And man, oh man, it's... Macassar Ebony, for Tonewood, back inside Tonewood, certainly well known for long ringing sustain. And man, this absolutely has got it all the way through. Beautiful, beautiful. Very nice. Hard to beat a good Nightingale.
Richard said if the 6-string Ryan is anything to go by, I bet the 12-string that we have here as well is something else.
10-string.
Oh, 10-string.
Yes, but man, you ain't wrong at all. Just imagine, the overtone presence of something like that, and then add a few more strings to it, get those kind of chorusing, slightly out of phase kind of thing happening there, of a 12-10 string kind of configuration, and really, really mesmerizing stuff, no doubt. Speaking of mesmerizing. Folks, we've just picked up a Goodall concert jumbo cutaway. I might dare say perhaps the most versatile guitar off the wall behind us today. A really, really beautiful way. We will take a close look here. We've got a Bearclaw, let's say master grade Bearclaw Sitka spruce top on this guitar. Man, just great deep figuring all throughout that soundboard. Just really three-dimensional Bearclaw in this top. Really gorgeous from every angle for sure. This guitar is bound in black ebony. This is jet black ebony binding on this guitar. Very, very sharp looking for sure. The back and sides of this guitar are a smoking hot set of Cocobolo. That is good stuff right there. Beautifully straight, nice, dark, dramatic looking Cocobolo. This is some of my almost blistered kind of look, and that is my favorite looking Cocobolo. Tends to be the stuff I really like the sound of in most cases as well. Beautiful sides matching there. See that beautiful back strip going down there, done in ebony, matching the binding on the guitar. I want to also mention the abalone rosette going around the sound hole there, just a little splash of color. I gotta say, the Florentine cutaway, that sharp cutaway on the concert jumbo, is such a fantastic silhouette there. Just a great looking shape to this guitar. Very attractive looking for sure. Comfortable whether you're standing up or sitting down playing it. Not going to give you a bit of hassle either way. Got a beautiful Cocobolo veneer on the face of the headstock. So often we see jet black ebony veneers on Goodall headstocks, which are certainly gorgeous as well. Having a little bit of color in that headstock veneer is really nice. It just perfectly ties in with the back and sides of this guitar as well. Got the gold Godo 510 tuning machines here with the black ebony buttons tying in with the ebony fingerboard, ebony bridge. We've got the split diamond fingerboard inlays going all the way down there. Typical concert jumbo kind of treatment here from Goodall guitars. Very beautiful guitar all the way around. And like I said, this thing will absolutely handle everything you can throw at it. And I'm not even going to say anything. It's everything this thing will do. Seems to have maybe, compared to a lot of the other Goodalls we get through here, maybe just a touch more presence of mid-range than what I'm used to hearing in a Goodall as well, which is a nice addition to the voice of this guitar. is something.
It's a question from Klaus. Do you think a guitar could ever age too much?
It's a very, very good question, Klaus. I admittedly, that's something I kind of wonder about all the time. I've even seen like on, acoustic guitar forum, people will ask, what happens when my guitar hits its prime? What happens after that? Does it hit a prime? Does it just keep continuing to get better, whatever that means to our ears? Probably the earliest guitar that I've ever played was at the Martin Museum, and it would have been a guitar from the 1860s. So a pretty darn old guitar. It sounded awesome. And of course, the way guitars were made back then compared to the way guitars are made now since the 20s and 30s is pretty different, but even with stylistic changes over the many decades here, it was an amazing sounding guitar. And, who am I to say, but it would be hard to believe that guitar sounded better at some point and then settled down into this slightly less good state at that point. All hypothetical, I guess. But that guitar sounded great. Guitars from that era I've heard recordings of sound amazing. So maybe we're just at the point to where we don't know yet. Maybe guitars haven't been around long enough in the form that we know them as and accept them as for us to reach that point of, does it just fall apart and it's over with or what? Good question, though. And like I said, it is something I think about because, so many of the vintage specimen that so many of us lust over and, save many dollars for many years in a lot of cases. You'd like to hope that those guitars that are sometimes 80 years old or older, you don't want those to start sounding worse anytime soon, do you? Especially with the investment involved. So, good question, though, Klaus. I appreciate that. All questions that a very, very simple, just time machine would solve for us, but. Folks, we've reached an amazing guitar from my friend Mr. Dana Bourgeois. This is a OMC Soloist guitar. Dana Bourgeois has been building the Soloist model originally in conjunction with Eric Schoenberg and Martin Guitars way back when. For quite a few years now, very much so, kind of one of his original models, certainly with the Cutaway and everything. What I wanted to do when I ordered this guitar was build a classic Soloist OMC model. But I wanted to build it with the current innovations that Dana has, by today's standards, that he did not have when he first created this guitar. So all that said to say, in a lot of cases, this is classic Soloist DNA with a few nice little sprinklings on top. We'll take a look at this absolutely insane top here. We've got an Italian spruce top here. These are some of my favorite soundboards from any maker, from any species. I don't care. The Italian spruce that Dana Bourgeois gets, I'm just going to say, seems to be on perhaps another level. It's amazing, amazing wood here. Beautiful to look at, beautiful to listen to. It responds to a light touch, responds to a heavy touch. It will pretty much do it all for you. Lots and lots of silking in this top as well. Just a great color, great appearance to this wood. Back and sides of this guitar are a beautiful, beautiful set of Brazilian rosewood. Man, just killer wood on this guitar. You can see that nice DB back strip as well. And in Soloist fashion, we have that beautiful pyramid bridge here. Has a smaller bridge plate with the pyramid bridge, excuse me, compared to the belly bridge that you would find on a lot of OMs. So it's a kind of a more lightly built OM than the standard version with the belly bridge on there, which is kind of a nice touch. Soloist purfling. We've got zero cote binding on the body only of this guitar. So again, a nice dark wood binding, but when you get up close on it, it does have some really intricate, nice grain in that zero cote. All the way up on the headstock, you can see a beautiful Brazilian rosewood veneer up there. We've got gold Waverly tuning machines with ebony buttons as well. Classic volute there on the mahogany neck. Ebony fingerboard on this guitar. Man, you can see the flaming in that ebony fingerboard. That is a great slab of wood there. Short pattern diamond and square fingerboard inlays on this guitar. Again, super, super classic looking. And speaking of the innovations that, like I said, Dana Bourgeois did not have in the earliest stages of his career, we're talking primarily the age tone stuff. So while the top of this guitar has not been torrified, it is not an age tone top from Bourgeois, everything on the inside of the guitar has been. So all of the Adirondack spruce braces have been torrified in this guitar. That smaller maple bridge plate for the pyramid bridge has been torrified as well. We also have the animal protein glue, and the body of the guitar has been finished in the age tone finish as well. So all of those boxes have been checked. I specifically left this top untorrified, again, as sort of a callback to the original European spruce top and Brazilian rosewood soloists from the original iteration of those guitars. So we kind of added the hot rodded stuff under the hood, if you will, and very, very happy with how this guitar turned out. Again, it's a guitar that will do virtually anything. Pretty darn perfect OM cutaway right there, folks. Very classic Bourgeois there, man. What a beautiful set of rosewood on that guitar. Holy cow. Thanks, Jandro. Just one more peek there. That is hot Hot stuff. Really nice. Where am I going? Kyle's throwing me off with that tape gun in the other room. Oh, man. Probably don't have any business touching this guitar, but that's okay. Goodness gracious, this folks, we have reached a rather magical specimen. This is a Santa Cruz OM custom with some very, very scary tone woods. Before I get terribly carried away here, let's take a look at this top there, Jandro. Got an old growth Adirondack spruce top on this guitar. This is a particularly old piece of wood that's been in Mr. Richard Hoover's collection for quite some time. Beautiful specimen here with that gorgeous Sunburst top on there. Really, really great color to that Sunburst. Very unique color as well. You can see that cowboy rope purfling going around the top of the guitar, giving it just enough texture there. Not quite as busy looking as, say, like a bold herringbone, but just enough of a texture there to give you a really great frame to this guitar. It's really, really nice, done in maple, so it's got a bit of iridescence to it there, which is really cool to see, especially up close. Rosette on this guitar, as well as the binding on the guitar, is done in snake wood, and I would like to get up a little close on that so you can see the detail of that. Especially with that rope purfling and that Sunburst, that snake wood binding sure looks good. We also have snake wood binding on the neck of the guitar here, which I'll try to show you. Very sharp. Nice crisp edge there for being able to see your side position markers there as well, which is cool. Then the entire face of the headstock, the entire veneer is also done in snake wood. Very, very unique for sure. Not something we see a lot. Those are gold Waverly tuning machines with, you guessed it, snake wood buttons on there as well, tying in very beautifully. We've got an ebony fingerboard there with the tiny dot inlays there. Those are the 2mm dot inlays. Very simple, but I got to tell you, it's right to the point, and I like those small dot inlays that Santa Cruz does. Again, we've got that matching snakewood rosette there. What are we forgetting here? Oh, the back of the guitar, of course. Back of this beautiful guitar is an absolutely insane set of the tree Honduran mahogany. Gorgeous quilted mahogany. If there are sets of the tree around, we try to get them from no matter the builder. We'll say Santa Cruz are some of our absolute favorite versions of the tree guitars. We've done a number of OMs and a few other body styles with Santa Cruz over the years, and consistently these have been some of our favorite acoustic guitars that we've ever had built, and this is a pretty fantastic example of that. The beauty of this wood cannot be stated enough. It is just absolutely incredible wood here. I'm going to show you up close that snake wood mitered in back strip on there with even the snake wood heel cap as well. Snake wood end piece as well, if I can get it in focus.
Bring it down.
I'm trying. There we go. Really great detail work though all the way through. This guitar has the advanced X bracing, or the kind of forward shifted pre-war style, fully scalloped Adirondack spruce bracing, all put together with hot hide glue. We have the standard 1 3/4 inch nut. We have the standard 2 3/16 spacing at the bridge on this guitar. Also needed to mention that this actually has that snakewood bridge as well, tying in with the binding, tying in with the headstock. Thanks, Jandro. I'll just give you a quick close-up of that. That great looking bridge on there. Bone bridge pins as well. And man, old Adirondack in this incredibly perfect mahogany sure makes for a sound, man. That depth out of mahogany sure is. Dang. Jandro, we need to stop or else I'm gonna embarrass myself here.
So someone was asking just about how many pieces of wood can we get out of like the tree? I guess like the tree was a big tree. And
Honduran mahogany grows pretty big, especially back before, people were around messing with it. It's kind of a different story back then. The tree, as I understand it, and I've done a fair amount of reading, we need to get Mr. Jay Howlett in here on our live stream and talk to him about it a little bit. He's one of he is the tree supplier for pretty much everybody that I'm aware of out there. It was a large log, and as you can imagine, not all of this wood is going to instrument making, of course. What's the Star Wars guy's name that I can never remember? George Lucas. Is that the Star Wars guy?
the director?
Sure. I think I'm pretty sure it's him, like his personal office or whatever. Every panel of the walls is the tree mahogany.
Are you
slabs
kidding me?
of it. Yeah. So, I mean, you know,
That's amazing.
it's not all instruments for me, unfortunately, but you know, whatever. Apparently there's a fair amount of it out there. Of course, day by day, there's less and less of it out there because folks are using it for different things. But man, I wish there were about 7,000 more of those logs around with mahogany that looked and sounded and felt like this, because I think we could sell a lot of guitars if we had access to that. Folks, and just like that, we have reached the end of the line. Jandro, I'm going to ask you first. Anything particular off the wall speaking to you today?
It's got to be that one that you've got there. I mean, that's an easy pick.
I was going to say, I hate to be so obvious. Man.
Yeah, the note separation, the sort of like darkness. It's a little dark, but it's still dynamic.
The wood is here and the air is here, and you can hear all of it. And that's what very few, especially brand new guitars with Adirondack tops, not a whole lot of them out there that do that. So when they do, it grabs your attention pretty quick. I'll say that. Yeah, this is amazing. I mean,
so the runner-up right now in chat is going to be the OMSC.
Oh,
and they want to
nice.
hear that one more time.
Yeah, gladly. Absolutely.
And what is it about Brazilian rosewood that just makes it the best? Like, what are they doing down in Brazil?
Oh boy, what aren't they doing down in Brazil? You know, that's a great question. It's like this wood, it doesn't know where it's growing. It doesn't know what part of the world it's in. Doesn't know it's gonna be a piece of a guitar someday, and up until 100 years or so ago, that wasn't a thing anyway, not so much, I guess, for guitars anyway, but yeah, it always fascinates me, and I know I've said this before, verbalized it before, but it fascinates me that you can point to this piece of the guitar and it's from Africa, and this piece of the guitar is from Honduras, and this piece of the guitar is from Mexico, and this is from Appalachia. It's like, holy cow, what an amazing world tour of tone woods that you get to put in one thing, whether it's binding or bracing or something as substantial as the top or the back or whatever. But it's pretty cool to see, literally a world's worth of stuff, material, kind of be realized in one thing, which is pretty fun. And on the flip side of that, you look at somebody like Leo Fender slapping planks of ash and maple together, and that worked out pretty well too. So, a lot of it, of course, is the engineering behind it, as we're going to hear in this guitar again. That thing has is really moving. This is not super dissimilar. Several years ago now, we were lucky enough to work literally hands-on with Mr. Tony Policastro. We had a pretty similar guitar made for him, Cocobolo back and side, H-tone, Italian spruce top, OMSC, really a lot of the same ingredients this guitar has, and I know how much he plays that guitar. That's one of his main fingerstyle guitars, and I know he's done a serious amount of actual studio recording with that guitar as well for his albums and stuff since he's had that. So if you don't take my word for it, maybe call Tony and ask him about it. But yeah, that I will pull this down off the wall again any day of the week for sure. Any parting thoughts there, Jandro?
No, yeah, some beautiful guitars, man.
Indeed, yeah, folks. Again, as always, we sure appreciate you. Kind of living in the riches here with these incredible guitars that we're able to not only spec and of course work with the incredible builders that put these things together for us, which is truly a joy in and of itself. Even if we never even got a guitar out of it at the end, I'd still love working with these people and talking with them. But of course, then months or in some cases years later, something like this shows up at the door, and it's like, oh my gosh. Yes, it's very, very much so a good thing. All that said to say, we appreciate you joining us here, and we'll see you in the next. You know what? Now that I say that, we're I'm just going to throw this out there. Jandro's not going to like it. We're going to try to come to you live from the Fretboard Summit up in Chicago 2 weeks from today. That will be, what, the 25th?
That will be the 25th, 2 weeks from today.
We're going to try to do that. We have absolutely no idea what the internet connections are going to be like, what our devices are going to be able to hook up to or not hook up to. So I'm going to say that while at the same time, not making any promises. But we're going to try real hard in a couple of weeks to come to you live from the Fretboard Summit. And if you don't know what the Fretboard Summit is, do some Googling right now and go ahead and make plans to attend it next year, because from the builders that are going to be showcasing instruments there, to the Tommy Emmanuel and friends playing at several of the different concerts and the evenings there. It is certainly an event not to be missed. So check that out if you're not familiar. Folks, again, thanks so much. Have an absolutely fabulous weekend. We'll catch you next time around. Thanks a bunch.